Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want more of these deep dives.
Yeah,
We love doing these.
we do.
Today,
It's fun.
today we're going to be talking about something that I think is really, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be talking about expanding Earth theories.
I love this one.
Yes.
This is a good one.
Okay, so
It's juicy.
it is juicy. We have a ton of sources on this.
Yeah.
So many
We got papers.
galore.
We got historical accounts.
We've got personal narratives from people who
Yes.
is researching this.
Who have been in the thick of it.
In the thick of it.
Yeah.
So,
Should be a really fun deep dive.
okay, so I think that this is going to really challenge us to rethink how we think about
Oh, yeah.
how the Earth formed and all that.
Fundamental assumptions about the planet we live on.
Yeah.
Its history, its
Yeah.
dynamics, even its very size. It's kind of like looking at a familiar landscape through a brand new lens.
Okay, I'm hooked already.
Okay, good.
So to set the stage, before we get into all the juicy
Yeah.
details,
Yeah.
can we
Let's go back in time.
go back in time
A little bit.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Give us a little historical context.
I got it. Okay.
So early geological models like Neptunism back in the 18th century, they imagine the Earth's features as remnants of a primeval ocean
Okay.
with rocks forming from precipitation, kind of like a giant bathtub slowly draining away.
Interesting.
But then as our understanding of radioactivity developed, we started dating rocks.
Right.
And we realized, wow, Earth is way older than we thought.
Right.
This shifted the focus from receding oceans to internal processes
Okay.
shaping the planet.
So we move from a watery world to a world of fiery depths.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even with this new focus on these internal processes, there were already these whispers.
Of doubt about the idea of a static Earth.
Absolutely.
Right.
Weren't there? Even Darwin himself noticed something curious back in the 1880s.
Okay.
He observed more evidence of land masses rising than sinking over time,
Interesting.
and that true oceanic islands seemed to be missing.
Okay.
Ancient Paleozoic rocks.
Wow.
These observations planted the seeds for the idea that maybe, just maybe, Earth's surface area wasn't as constant as everyone thought.
So it's like Darwin was sending us a message through time.
He was.
Hey guys, check this out.
Right.
Something's not adding up here.
Question everything.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Darwin. Like,
Yeah.
who else was on this train of thought?
Edward Seuss, another prominent geologist at the time, was also seeing this trend
Okay.
of continents seemingly emerging throughout history.
Wow.
Their observations really started to challenge the notion of a fixed Earth.
So how do we get from Darwin and Seuss wondering about
Well,
rising continents to these full-blown expanding Earth theories?
Well, the real turning point came with the emergence of alternative models to the now dominant theory of plate tectonics.
Okay.
Fictions like S. Warren Carey,
Okay.
Ellis Guide, Bruce Heath, and Hugh Owen.
Okay.
They really took the reins and ran with this idea
Okay.
of an expanding Earth.
Got it.
They saw it as a simpler and more elegant explanation
Okay.
for a lot of the geological features that we observe.
Now, those names ring a bell. Weren't some of those guys also involved
Yeah.
in developing our understanding of plate tectonics?
You're right. The discovery of the global mid-oceanic rift system in the mid-20th century was a huge game changer.
Yeah.
It sparked a fierce debate between those who favored an expanding Earth to explain the observed seafloor spreading, and those who saw it as evidence for plate tectonics.
Right.
Some researchers even flipped sides, starting with expansion
wow.
and later embracing plate tectonics.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was this real clash of the titans.
This scientific showdown over how our planet really works.
It was the battle for the Earth.
Yes. But let's get to the heart of the matter.
Okay, let's do it.
What is it about the expanding Earth theory
Yeah.
that makes it so compelling to some scientists?
Okay.
What's the evidence that makes them question
Nice.
a fixed radius Earth?
So expanding Earth proponents point to a number of observations that are really hard to explain.
Okay.
If we assume that the Earth has always been the same size, one of the most striking pieces of evidence comes from trying to reconstruct
Okay.
the ancient supercontinent Pangaea
Okay.
using the continents we have today.
You mean how the continents seem to fit together like a giant puzzle?
Exactly. But there's a catch.
Okay, I like catches.
Expanding Earth theorists argue that when you try to fit the continents together on a globe, the size of today's Earth, especially for periods like the Permian and Triassic, you consistently end up with a gaping gore.
It's a gaping gore.
A gaping gore.
Okay. Essentially a missing chunk. Oh. It's like trying to force a square peg into a round hole.
Okay.
But when you reconstruct Pangaea on a smaller Earth model, those gaps disappear. It's a much snugger fit.
So they're suggesting that the Earth was literally smaller back then?
Yeah.
And the continents were all closer together.
That's the idea.
That's kind of hard to wrap my head around.
It is a pretty radical idea.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop there.
Okay. Where do we go from here?
Paleomagnetic data.
Paleomagnetic data.
Which records the Earth's magnetic field as preserved in ancient rocks, presents a puzzle known as the Arctic paradox.
Ooh, a paradox.
A paradox.
Now we're talking,
yeah.
What is this Arctic paradox all about?
Imagine trying to trace the movements of continents based on their past magnetic orientations. The paradox arises when you project paleomagnetic data from, say, Texas in the Permian period to the expected location of the magnetic North Pole. What you often find is that the projected latitude is way off from where it should be.
So it's like the continents were playing a game of magnetic hide-and-seek.
A little bit.
They're not where we expect them to be, based on a fixed Earth model.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting. This discrepancy can actually be resolved by considering an expanding Earth. As the Earth's radius increases, the continents naturally spread apart. And their paleomagnetic positions align much better with what we would expect.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense. What about geological features?
Yeah.
Do those lend any support to the expanding Earth theory?
They do. Expanding Earth theorists point to large-scale crustal movements that are difficult to explain with just plate tectonics alone. A great example is the Tethyan torsion zone.
Wait, Tethyan torsion zone? That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, it's intense.
Can you break that down for me?
Imagine it as a zone where giant blocks of Earth's crust have been twisted and rotated over millions of years. This zone shows evidence of large-scale movements.
That don't fit neatly into the plate tectonics model. Expanding Earth theorists see this as evidence of the Earth's surface stretching and distorting as it grows.
So it's like the Earth's crust is this giant, ever-expanding canvas, and these torsion zones are the brushstrokes that reveal its dynamic history.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I like that.
And to add to the intrigue, the expanding Earth model seamlessly incorporates the well-established phenomenon of seafloor spreading. It suggests that the continuous creation of new ocean floor at mid-ocean ridges is a natural outcome of Earth expansion, eliminating the need for subduction. Which is still somewhat controversial.
So it just kind of takes care of that.
It just works. It's very elegant and simple.
This is really starting to make me rethink everything I thought I knew about geology.
Mission accomplished.
Are there any other pieces of evidence that make this theory so intriguing?
Well, this one might surprise you.
Some studies have looked at growth lines in ancient invertebrates, like those found in mollusks and brachiopods. These lines, similar to tree rings, can tell us about an organism's growth and environmental conditions. Intriguingly, some studies suggest a correlation between the size of these growth lines and the Earth's radius.
Wait, so you're telling me that the size of ancient seashells could hold clues to the size of the Earth in the past?
It sounds crazy, right?
It does sound crazy.
But the data suggests that organisms might have grown larger on a smaller planet.
That's wild.
So if those ancient clams were jumbo-sized, it could mean they were living on a smaller Earth.
Okay, that's just mind-blowing.
It's pretty wild.
So we've got missing puzzle pieces, wandering continents, twisted crust, jumbo clams, all pointing towards a potentially expanding Earth. But you mentioned earlier that there are also arguments against a constant radius Earth. Let's unpack those. What are those arguments?
You're right. Expanding Earth theorists often highlight the challenges faced by the traditional fixed Earth model. One of the biggest criticisms they level is the gaping gore problem we talked about earlier. They argue that this geometric impossibility, this missing chunk, when reconstructing Pangaea on a fixed-size globe, is a major flaw in the plate tectonics model.
Like they're saying, look, the math just doesn't add up if we assume the Earth has always been this size.
Exactly. Another argument against a constant radius Earth relates to the difficulties with subduction.
Okay.
This process where oceanic crust is supposedly forced back into the mantle is a cornerstone of plate tectonics.
Right.
But critics point to the lack of definitive evidence for the large-scale subduction required to maintain a constant Earth radius.
So the expanding Earth model just kind of sidesteps these problems.
It does.
But just allowing for an increase.
It offers a fresh and some might say more straightforward perspective on Earth's history.
This is incredible.
It is.
We've covered so much ground already.
I know, right?
But there's still so much more to explore.
There is.
Let's take a break here.
Okay.
Come back to delve deeper
Yeah.
into the challenges and alternative explanations
Already.
surrounding this mind-boggling theory.
Me too.
I'm excited.
Let's do it. Yeah, we've just scratched the surface of this fascinating theory. As with any scientific idea, the expanding Earth model has faced its share of scrutiny and...
Right, because it's one thing to point out inconsistencies in the traditional view.
Right.
But it's another to provide a convincing explanation for how the Earth could actually expand.
Yeah, how does it work?
Right? What are some of the mechanisms that have been proposed?
Well, one of the most intriguing ideas involves the gravitational constant, that fundamental force that governs gravity itself. Some researchers suggest that maybe this constant isn't actually so constant after all.
Hold on, you're telling me gravity itself could be changing?
It is.
That's pretty wild.
And if the gravitational constant were to decrease over time, it could potentially lead to an expansion of the Earth. Think of it like loosening a giant rubber band around the planet as the force weakens.
I'm trying to visualize that.
Yeah.
So a weaker gravity means a bigger Earth.
Yeah.
What other ideas are out there?
Another hypothesis that's been put forward is the continuous creation of matter within the Earth.
So new matter just popping into existence?
Yeah.
That sounds almost like magic.
It does have a certain mystique to it. But these are just hypotheses. And they come with their own set of challenges. For example, if new matter were being created, it would require a tremendous amount of energy. And we haven't observed any signs of that kind of energy source.
It can't just appear out of thin air. We need to follow the laws of physics here. Yeah, we do.
But what about alternative explanations?
Yeah.
For the phenomena we discussed earlier, like the continental fit and the paleomagnetic data? Could there be other ways to interpret those findings within the framework of plate tectonics?
Of course, proponents of plate tectonics argue that the apparent better fit of continents on a smaller Earth could be due to inaccuracies in our reconstructions. After all, we're talking about piecing together a puzzle that's billions of years old, with many of the pieces missing or deformed.
So it's like trying to restore a shattered vase. We might be missing some crucial fragments. And the one we have might be warped or broken, making it hard to get a perfect fit.
It's a very challenging task. And when it comes to the Arctic paradox, plate tectonics proponents suggest that the discrepancies in paleomagnetic data could be explained by more complex models of the Earth's magnetic field, allowing for variations and shifts over time. So instead of assuming the Earth's magnetic field has always been this simple dipole, like a bar magnet, maybe it's been a bit more dynamic and wobbly throughout history.
That's the idea. The magnetic field is influenced by many factors. And those influences can change over geological timescales, making it a more complex puzzle to decipher.
So it's a real scientific debate.
It is.
With both sides presenting their evidence and interpretations.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room. The energy required for an expanding Earth. It seems like it would take an astronomical amount of energy to make a planet grow.
You're absolutely right. That's one of the biggest criticism leveled against the expanding Earth theory. Critics argue that the energy needed to increase Earth's radius by the proposed amounts would be immense. And there's no known source for that kind of energy. They also point out that such an expansion would generate a tremendous amount of heat, which we haven't detected.
So the lack of a clear energy source and the absence of expected heat signatures are major hurdles.
They are significant challenges for sure.
For the expanding Earth theory.
But remember, science is an ongoing process. Just because we don't have all the answers today doesn't mean we'll never find them.
That's the beauty of science, right?
It is.
It's about constantly questioning, exploring, and refining our understanding.
Refining and revising.
So Where does the expanding Earth theory stand today?
Right.
Is it completely dismissed?
Good question.
By mainstream science, or is there still some life in this intriguing idea?
Well, it's true that the expanding Earth theory isn't widely accepted within the mainstream geological community.
Okay.
Interest in it persists.
Okay.
Particularly among independent researchers who see it as a viable alternative to plate tectonics.
So it's kind of like an underdog theory.
Yeah.
But it's still got some dedicated fans out there.
It does.
Rooting for it.
Absolutely.
Are there any notable figures or projects in the expanding Earth community that our listeners should know about?
One of the most striking visual representations of the expanding Earth concept comes from the work of James Maxlow. He's created these incredible spherical scale models demonstrating how the continents fit together seamlessly on a progressively smaller Earth.
I'm picturing these beautiful, intricate globes.
Yeah.
Each one representing a different stage in Earth's expansion.
That's it.
It must be amazing to see them in person.
They're pretty cool.
Do these researchers have any conferences or publish their findings?
Absolutely. There have been several conferences and publications dedicated to exploring the expanding Earth model, showcasing ongoing research and fostering discussion among its proponents. They see it as a vital part of the scientific process. Challenging established paradigms and pushing the boundaries of our understanding.
Now, you mentioned some alternative explanations for Earth's expansion earlier.
Right.
There was one that really caught my attention, something about orgone energy.
Orgone energy.
That sounds almost like something out of a science fiction novel.
Yes. Orgone energy. That's where we venture into the realm of the unconventional, even the controversial. Wilhelm Reich, a psychoanalyst and researcher, proposed the concept of orgone energy.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But also a bit skeptical. How does this orgone energy tie into the expanding Earth theory?
Reich's ideas are certainly outside the mainstream of scientific thought. But some expanding Earth theorists have drawn inspiration from his work. They suggest that this orgone energy could be the elusive energy source driving Earth's expansion, acting as a kind of cosmic fuel.
So it's like the Earth is being energized and inflated by this invisible life-giving force? It's a pretty wild concept.
It is a wild concept.
But I imagine it's not without its critics.
You're right. Reich's concept of orgone energy has been met with considerable skepticism. From the scientific community, his research methods and interpretations have been questioned. And there's no widely accepted evidence to support the existence of this energy.
So it's a fringe idea even within the already fringe world.
It's pretty fringe.
Of expanding Earth theories.
But it's also a testament to the diversity of thought and the willingness to explore unconventional ideas, which often drive scientific progress. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll discover a form of energy that behaves similarly to Reich's orgone and plays a role in shaping our planet. It's important to keep an open mind, even while maintaining a healthy dose of skepticism.
I love that approach. It's about embracing the unknown, exploring different perspectives, and letting the evidence lead the way.
Absolutely.
Wow. It's amazing to see how this seemingly simple question, is the Earth expanding, can lead to such a deep and complex exploration of geology and physics and even like philosophy.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of scientific disciplines and how a challenge to one idea can ripple through our entire understanding of the natural world.
So after this deep dive, where do we stand? Is the Earth expanding? Is plate tectonics the definitive answer? What's the takeaway for our listener who sent us all these amazing sources?
If this deep dive has taught us anything, it's that science is rarely about definitive answers. It's a journey of discovery. Of constantly refining our understanding.
A journey of discovery.
Based on new evidence and perspectives.
It feels like we've been on an intellectual adventure today.
It does.
Exploring uncharted territories of thought.
Exactly. The expanding Earth model, while not widely accepted, presents a captivating alternative view of Earth's history. It elegantly addresses certain geological puzzles, like the gaping gore problem and the distribution of continents.
It's like those pieces of the puzzle just click into place a little bit better with an expanding Earth.
Precisely. But the expanding Earth theory also faces its own set of hurdles.
Okay.
Particularly in explaining the mechanism behind the expansion and the energy source required for such a massive undertaking.
It's one thing to say that the Earth is expanding.
Right.
But it's another to explain how and why it's happening.
Right. Those are the big questions.
Those are big questions.
Absolutely. And those unanswered questions highlight the need for continued research and exploration. Perhaps future discoveries will shed light on these mysteries, or maybe a new, even more revolutionary theory will emerge to explain our planet's dynamic nature.
It's almost like we're on the edge of a scientific cliffhanger waiting for the next chapter to unfold.
Exactly. And this uncertainty, the sense of wonder, is what makes science so fascinating.
I agree.
It invites us to think critically, to question assumptions, and to embrace the unknown.
I think our listener who sent in all these sources is probably feeling that sense of wonder right now.
Yeah.
After going on this journey with us.
I hope so.
What are some of the bigger questions that they could continue pondering even after this deep dive?
Well, if we entertain the possibility of an expanding Earth, even just for a moment, it opens up a whole new realm of questions.
Okay.
For example, what are the implications for our understanding of Earth's future?
Wow.
How would an expanding Earth affect the evolution of life? The formation of mountains and oceans? Even the very dynamics of our planet.
Whoa, those are some big questions.
They are.
I'm suddenly imagining continents drifting further apart. New land masses emerging from the oceans. Maybe even a change in Earth's gravity.
That would be wild.
It's like a science fiction novel coming to life.
And that's the power of exploring alternative theories.
Right.
They push us beyond the boundaries of conventional thinking, challenging us to imagine new possibilities and to approach the world with a sense of curiosity and wonder.
This deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has.
We've journeyed through the history of geological thought, grappled with mind-bending concepts like a changing gravitational constant and the creation of new matter, and even touched upon the unconventional ideas of Wilhelm Reich.
We did it all.
We've explored the evidence, the arguments, the challenges, the unanswered questions surrounding the expanding Earth theory.
Thanks to the fantastic sources provided by our listener.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think we've all come out of this with a greater appreciation for the complexity of our planet.
I think so.
And the ever-evolving nature of scientific understanding.
Yeah, it reminds us that our knowledge is always a work in progress, a tapestry woven from observation, experimentation, and interpretation.
So for our listener out there, keep questioning, keep exploring. And keep that sense of wonder alive. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us just beyond the horizon?
Perhaps as you continue to learn and delve deeper into these fascinating topics, you'll be the one to uncover the next groundbreaking piece of the puzzle. The one that revolutionizes our understanding of Earth and our place in the cosmos.
That's a fantastic note to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this extraordinary deep dive into the expanding Earth theories.
Yeah, this was fun.
And a huge thank you to our listener for sending us.
Yes, thank you.
These thought-provoking sources. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful explorations.
Yeah, hit that button.
Of the world around us.
Do it.
Keep those minds expanding.
Keep them expanding.